guns should be Glocks, all Glocks should be 9mm, and all Glock 9mm should be 19s.
It really doesn't hold up well to modern pistols.
45 ACP, all you had to do was watch it bounce off of windshields and doors, and you start thinking, hey, this round's probably not all it's cracked. Something I'm more concerned about is if I actually shot somebody with a 45 ACP and they actually saw me pull the trigger at them, they just step out of the way before the bullet even got to them.
Well, hello everybody out there. Ethan here with the 11 Bang Bang channel. And yeah, I'm kind of Operator Woody today. But today we're going to be covering my first semi-auto handgun I ever owned. This is the ATI 1911 GIE. Carried this gun for a long time. It's been through the ringer. This video, by the way, is dedicated to one of our subscribers, Mr. Gunfighter 45 ACP. So if you're watching, thanks for being a long-term subscriber. We'll do this with some of our other subscribers, but we figured you'd like this video. Anyhow, what do I think about the ATI 1911? Well, let me run a few rounds through it here right quick. The controls are just like any other 1911. You can either hit the slide release or slingshot the cylinder, I've been shooting too many revolvers, or slingshot your slide here back. So I'm just going to do that because that thumb doesn't have a very good range of motion. And let's go ahead and use our safety here. That's just so hard to use, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and shoot that steel over there. Let's shoot the longer range gong. Makes him sing, don't it? Yeah. And we're out of ammo in that magazine. I shoot pretty decently with this gun. Really like it. It is one of the cheaper 1911s. And no, these are not the original grips that come with the gun. These are some grips my wife got me for Christmas on our first year we were married. So let me tell you a little bit of my history with this gun. I actually got this gun whenever it first came out 10 years ago. I know that because Hickok 45 had just done a video on it, and I seen that video, and unironically it was at the same time I was looking for a Smith & Wesson Model 29, and I saw that video and I was like, you know what, I have enough money for a 1911 right now, that 1911, and I don't have enough money for a Smith & Wesson 29 yet. So I went and I was like, we can get a Model 29 later. I'm going to use my money I have now and get myself a good 1911. And I did. And like I said, I had this gun for 10 years. She got some holster wear on her. I don't use it near as much as I used to because I mainly shoot revolvers now because finding brass is just so much easier. But the gun it's a good shooting gun. So there are some people out there who like to call this a FUD gun. Or if you shoot one, they're like, okay, boomer. You hear that one a lot. I'll just tell you right now, MARSOC or Raiders or whatever they call themselves nowadays, the Marines, last I knew they were still using the 1911 and they were liking it quite a bit. Now, one of the biggest complaints about the 1911 here is this thing right here, the safety. And you'll hear Glock guys all the time who will be like, well, I would never use a 1911 because I might forget to take the safety off in a tense situation. Well, let me ask you tactical guys out there this question. Have you ever been trained on how to use an M4 or an AR-15? One of the things you're going to learn is whenever you move anywhere with an M4 or an AR-15 or an M16 is that you flip that gun to safe. And then when you're ready to fire, you flip it to fire. So let me ask you, what's the difference between the M4 safety and the safety on your handgun? Well, I'll actually tell you one difference. The safety on the 1911 is much faster to acquire and flip off than on an M4. And it's much more easy to tell if you're on safe or not. I don't prefer a safety myself because I do like just the simple pull out and shoot. But if you train with it, it's not that big of a deal. I don't see why everybody blows that out of the water like that's just the game changer of why this thing is worthless. Another thing people like to go on about how worthless these things are, about 1911s in particular, is it's an all steel gun and it makes it heavy. Oh, I will tell you this gun is, quite a bit heavier, but when you're shooting 45 ACP, that weight really helps out with recoil. And as you can tell with these GI mags, I don't know what the deal is, but they are not liking to lock the slide to the rear on these ATIs. I don't know if they do it on any 1911 really, but that's actually a 1942 Colt 45 auto mag. All right, so now we're gonna run a little hollow point test here. A lot of people wanna know, do these things shoot hollow points? And what I have here is some Freedom Munitions 230 grain hollow points. Don't know if you can see those too well right there. But we'll go ahead and we'll see if they cycle through this proprietary ATI 8-round magazine, the one you get out of the box, which they seem to run pretty good. So let's give it a old college try here. There we go. It didn't want to. So that's another reason why I like to rack the slide. By the way, this gun's dry. I probably should have oiled it before I came out here, but yeah. So as you saw there, I went to drop the slide with the slide release there, and it kind of hiccuped. But let's go ahead and let's run some rounds on that big old steel over there, so that way I don't miss as much. Them are a little bit hotter. Yep, missed that one. And as you can see, we locked to the rear with the 8-round magazines, and it fed those fairly flawlessly. Let's try some other hollow points. All right, so now I'm gonna try some of these Federal 230 grain hollow points, and as you can see, those have actually got a lot more of a flat nose to them, which could potentially cause more of an issue in a semi-auto handgun. So let's go ahead and let's see how these feed. Go ahead, slap the magazine in. By the way, this is the GI mag, so it's not gonna lock to the rear. And we will drop our slide, see if it drops. Worked on those, and we'll just see how well they cycle. And we're a lot hotter. And as you can see, once again, like I said, these GI mags do not lock to the rear. So, all clear on those. All right, so now I'm probably gonna humiliate myself here, but I'm gonna try that 100-yard gong over there. It's a 10-inch plate, and I'm shooting 230 grain Winchester white box. So, let's see if I can hit this thing. Gotta find where to aim at 100 yards. Yeah, well, I nicked it. I'll call that good enough. Now let's let Garrett shoot it.
I'm going to give this ATI a try. Generally, I like the Ruger SR 1911, but this gun's been around the family a long time and it has a nice feel to it. Back.
So, I'd like to do a shout out here. This holster you see here is one of our Duke Frazier Productions 1911 holsters. Pretty slick little holster. Draws out pretty decently. So yeah, if you want one like this, make sure you give old Duke Frazier of Duke Frazier Productions a shout out. Well guys, that's about all I got for you today. So as always, remember to trust in God and keep your powder dry. Ghost Cowboy Bob over there looks like he needs to be taught a lesson. What do you say, Garrett? Should I double tap him?
Double tap.
Double tap him?
Controlled pair.
Let's do this all tactical like, shall we? Bye.